So tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back. We were so close, weren't we? But were we? I don't know. Chelsea won, or should I say Man City won, Chelsea won. The spoils are shared throughout the Premier League season with Chelsea Football Club and the treble-winning Manchester City. 5 goals apiece in both fixtures. 1-1 at the Etihad, 4-4 at Stamford Bridge. And my giddy aunt, mate, listen, I haven't got it on at the moment, but I wear a smartwatch. My stress was like 10 out of 10 red. It was telling me to calm down and breathe. And trust me, I needed to calm down and breathe. I don't even know where to start with this game, dude. Like, because we were so close to greatness. We played like a great Chelsea team up against it, whether it's Chelsea Munich, whether it's, you know, Tuchel's Chelsea in Porto. I know I'm just taking Champions League finals here, but considering how transitional Chelsea are and how far we are from those great teams at the moment, this felt like it needed that kind of sort of like titanic performance from the players playing for each other, playing for the manager, I guess, as well. And they did that. Of course, it was we're going to talk about the game today, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me on the channel. I think we're really close to 180k subs. You can be the difference maker if you like the content and my commentary and you're interested. So thank you if you are. Usually we're in the studio. Sometimes we're sitting here at the desk. And yes, lots of videos for you and content. So thank you for liking and subscribing. Man, oh man, oh man. This was way more controlled than the chaotic 8-goal thriller at Stamford Bridge. But Pep Guardiola will be frustrated in both games, especially considering where Chelsea have been in the league. And he will see this as a real missed opportunity, especially with Liverpool and Arsenal cooking their respective opponents. And oh man, I've got to say what is the last thing on my mind, and that's Trevoh Chalobah making his Chelsea first appearance of the season, and not only putting out a lazy knee to see Rodri's long shot get deflected, but also nearly doing the exact same thing in stoppage time there and just seeing the ball go wide. Now, I'm not saying it's not a Trevoh Chalobah own goal, and I'm not criticising him. He's literally, his first minutes of the season is away at Etihad. Etihad trying to defend a 1-0 lead. It's high-octane, intense stuff. But it's, remember when Thiago Silva did that lazy knee recently and a goal went in? It may even, I can't remember which game. Was it the reverse fixture? I don't know. But it had echoes of that. I'm not saying it's a big error or anything like that. But I don't know, man. I really feel like a defender that's, you know, that's warm, that knows the game, actually does a lot better with that attempted block. Anyway, I just feel like my heart is sunk thinking about it. Anyway, look, this very much was a 4-2-3-1. Sometimes we play like a pseudo 4-3-3. I was calling for like a 4-4-2, which we sometimes do out of possession when pressing. But we didn't over-press City, which is intelligent here. And hopefully we take that same approach to Liverpool. But Petrovic in goal, of course. It was nice to see this back four of conventional fullbacks and Gusto and Chilwell. Gusto magnificent in this game. Similarly, his French countryman next to him, Disassi. Oh, those two. Incroyable. Il joue très bien, hein? Colwell instead of Thiago Silva, and then of course Chilwell, captain on the day. The double pivot of Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. Somehow Caicedo managed to stay on when for a long time it looked like he was desperate to get himself sent off. Gallagher very much in the number 10 role, actually. And then you had Sterling on the left wing, you had Palmer on the right wing, and Jackson as a striker. And yeah, it was the sort of 4-1-4-1 from Man City that becomes that sort of pseudo crazy, you know, what was it, 3-2-4-1 essentially that they play. Very, very offensive, of course, from Man City. And yeah, this is how it went on the day. Of course, Caicedo gets booked in the 35th minute. He'd already stamped on someone, I can't remember who it was, but in the 42nd minute, at this point, we're thinking, Chelsea are doing a lot of defending, but we've scuppered a couple of counter-attacks. So Raheem Sterling did really poorly on one, Nico Jackson did really poorly on one, and then they link up in the 42nd minute, Nico Jackson with what is a beautiful assist, by the way, on that right wing, assisting Raheem Sterling, who tears Kyle Walker apart and finishes. And just, I need to say, Raheem Sterling has been really bad lately. Like, his form's been pretty bad, you know. His application, great. Trying hard, you know, professional, good attitude. But the decision-making and the form generally has been very, very poor. That's why he's not been starting lately. And then we see him start in this game, and a lot of Chelsea fans get worried. But if you remember, he was like arguably man of the match in the reverse fixture, the 4-all, where he scored as well. I genuinely think, rightly or wrongly, and I'd be interested in your thoughts, Pochettino went on a kind of vibes pick here and went, look, I believe he's going to be, you know, give everything because he's going to want to prove something here. So he starts Raheem Sterling, and it pays dividends. It pays dividends, and he scores. Of course, he'd made a couple of poor mistakes before. Well, not mistakes, but didn't take his chances well up to this. Possibly one after, but he scored that all-important, decisive goal that puts Chelsea 1-0 up, of course. And at the half-time, we're leading. I do my classic half-time Instagram live show, which I do every time. Feel free to check that out at Football Yannick on Instagram. Give us a follow. And yeah, dude, like I was just thinking, it's so far to go. They're going to come out and they're going to just eat us alive. You know, Haaland's already missed a few big chances. He will miss some more in the second half. Now, we are defending for our lives in the second half. We had a few good chances in the first, but we revert kind of like to vintage Chelsea defending a lead. And if they do something really stupid, which opens up, you know, huge channels on the break, then we fly down those channels and try and score, which is kind of the right tactic when you've got a goal. This is like prime Conte, Tuchel, Mourinho would tell you this. This is what you do, you know? This is what you do, especially as Chelsea when you haven't got like pressure to play a certain way. But I can't believe I haven't even said this yet. Context, ladies and gentlemen. In this fixture, in the last 4 seasons, we've been defeated and we've not scored a single goal. So I saw people giving Sterling crap at halftime on my Instagram live because of Sterling's performance. I was like, dude, he scored. He's done better for Chelsea in this fixture than we've done in the last 4 years. Like, you know, that even if Sterling goes in the summer and we find a better way to play generally or whatever, this is the time you praise him. We haven't scored in 4 years in this fixture, and we've just done it and gone ahead. So, you know, Man City, they're on an 11 winning streak. They've beaten us 4 years on the trot in this fixture without conceding a single goal. There's your friggin' context, bro. And they've gone, you know, they went up. They're a treble winning team. They've got Erling Haaland and KDB's back, and you know their starting lineup, dude. Foden, De Bruyne, Haaland, Doku. You know, Alvarez and Silva comes on. They've got so many crazy offensive players. And again, they're at home. They're like, the last 3 games they went behind, they've gone on to win. So even though we went on to concede what was a 83rd minute equaliser from Rodri, it was a magnificent defensive performance. And because of that, I understand Pochettino going defensive. You know, Nkunku for Sterling isn't a defense. It's just you know, Nkunku should feature in this game. He didn't look great when he came on. In fact, all the substitutes look bad. But not. I was just saying Nkunku looked bad. Nkunku didn't look particularly good, but I thought Trevoh looked bad, and I don't think Cesare Casadei was one way or another. I saw him make a foul, basically. I understand why he brought these players on. He brings on Nkunku because we're always going to see him. He brings on Trevoh Chalobah to rightly and correctly go 5 at the back. Okay, so I get that. I'm going to look at our bench now. You know, we could have brought on Gilchrist maybe instead of Chalobah and made it back 3. That's a hindsight thing. I think Trevoh Chalobah's a lot taller than Gilchrist, so maybe Pochettino tactically is thinking we're going to win aerial duels. Of course, Cesare Casadei's tall as well, and he's very good at winning headers. So to be honest, like, in theory, guys, you know, by the 82nd minute when we bring on Cesare Casadei, I know we concede literally a minute later, but that's not on Casadei. I understand why Poch is doing the substitutions. People are frustrated with the substitutions, but in theory, I understand it. Look, in hindsight, if you could go back in time and say, Pochettino, would you change the decision? Maybe you'd go, yeah, because we conceded, and maybe just, you know, the friggin', what's it called, the multiverse theory, something doesn't happen, whatever. A nerd comment there. But Rodri does score in the 83rd minute. And it's, like I said, it's a long shot. It's always a long shot from Rodri. He's always occupying that sort of space in the hole where the ball drops down to him and he takes a long shot. And he's got a knack of scoring these big goals from long range, you know, whether it's Champions League finals or just constantly against us. And yeah, look, man, I'm going to watch it back. Comment down below, what do you think about that attempt to block from Trevoh Chalobah? Because what it does, it deflects off and makes it unsavable for the keeper. Now, maybe I'm being harsh. Okay, maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe it's really, really fast and it's just going to go in at all. But if Trevoh's there, if Trevoh isn't there, does Petrovic save it? That's the question. And if he doesn't, should Trevoh have done better to block it and not sort of do that glancing knee, which you see it like Thiago Silva just goes in. I think it's a lazy knee. Now I'm really mindful not to give this kid grief because he's been injured all season and these are literally his first minutes and probably the most high pressure scenario you could put him in. So it's not fair to like dig him out. And to be honest, he's probably going to be sold in the summer anyway, unless he sort of really does well in the rest of the season. But I think that's really harsh and it's just a really unfortunate thing. Of course, the game from there at that point all comes down to, right, can we see this out and take a point from Man City, you know, and ultimately be undefeated this season against the treble winners? It does become something like that. And we showed ever since the 42nd minute, you know, we can play like a team. You know, we can be resolute. We can be a unit and play well and stop them. And there was a couple of moments when we broke and Gusto got forward and Gallagher got forward later on in the game. And if we'd scored a last-minute winner, it would have been absolute scenes. But we need to be honest here. Haaland missed what is a hat trick of good chances for him. He did score twice against us in the reverse fixture. You know, Doku before in Stamford Bridge had a really bad time because he was pocketed by Reece James. He did absolutely nothing. He was hooked to 60 minutes with a yellow card because Reece James had him in his pocket. Now, of course, we didn't have that luxury this time, but Gusto did hella well. But yeah, there's a lot of missed chances from Haaland. Other than that, we kept him at bay pretty well. It's just really the chances that Haaland's missed, I'd say. But let's talk about how we played them. So happy with Petrovic in goal. I'm not going to say he's like a world-class goalkeeper. He is, in terms of where he's come from, what's expected from him, how much he cost. He is passing with flying colours. Dude's got A++. He's got a scholarship into the super, you know, well-done academy of Chelsea. He's just done so much better than anyone. Well, not because his camp always said he could be Chelsea's #1. But, you know, maybe in a couple of years, maybe have to work his way in. Of course, he got lucky with a Rob Sanchez injury, and he's just been not even magnificent, just really good. But to make saves like this, you know, and away at the Etihad, and it's worth saying as well, Edison made like a double save, so we had good chances as well. So Petrovic, really good. Really good. Chilwell, Gusto. Let's talk about the whole back line here. Colwill and Chilwell both played well, I'd say. Especially you have to play well when, you know, you got City have got nearly 70% possession. They take 28 shots at home at you. The whole back line and the goalkeeper need to be magnificent. And in fact, the whole team need to be. But Chilwell and Colwill were very, very good. They were very good. But the guys on the right-hand side, their French compatriots, the French counterparts on the right side, what was the story here? Disasi was absolutely incroyable, like I said earlier, just incredible. So was Gusto. Disasi and Gusto were incredible. I don't know what else to say. Like, Gusto up and down, Disasi in the box. Basically, a right-back performing as a right-back, a centre-back performing as a centre-back. All their duties, excelling in them incredibly well. Need I say more? Feel free to comment on those guys. I think the midfield was good. Caicedo was a little bit foul-y. I think he got a little bit lucky. I don't think he should have been sent off, but he was definitely sort of like, riding that sort of thin line. Fernandes dug in and helped the team and was pretty good. I think he was I'd say very good. He was like a team player, although he wouldn't mind doing that sort of digging in and gritty Argentinian style, play, getting amongst it. But there is a great deal of culture to Enzo Fernandez, and I think he would prefer the type of game when we're knocking about, when we have the ball, when he can dictate a little bit more, when he can influence offensively, when he can think about moseying on down towards the opposition box to try and score himself. I don't think that was, correctly and rightly, I don't think that was in his mind in this game. This was, we are together, we are a team, we're coming up against this juggernaut who are at home, and we always lose here for like half a decade. We've lost here, so let's try and do something here. And ultimately, it was the correct approach. Gallagher, he did such an amazing job on Rodri. I won't say until he scored, because when he scored, that's not, that was the ball falling to the edge of the box, him taking a long shot like he always does. But in terms of general play, pressing Rodri, sticking to him, preventing him from dictating play as a sort of quarterback or a regista, or whatever your terminology is, Gallagher did a superb job of that. He got another example of Conor Gallagher getting a particular instruction from the manager and executing it perfectly. So let's talk about the attackers then. Palmer, a bit of a quiet day, did get his foot on the ball quite well though and relieve pressure, I think. And he was, even though he didn't get a goal or assist, he played a part in the goal, and he did sensible stuff. He didn't let the emotion get to him. He actually got boos and applause, but more applause when coming off, getting substituted. He gave a little clap back, which was nice. So there's no drama there, no headlines for you there, tabloids. And yeah, I think he was good. I think for a young guy, he can clearly just be trusted in every. You can put. Look, man, if you're Gareth Southgate, you need to watch Chelsea this season and think. To be honest, I could bring Cole Palmer on in a World Cup final or the Euros final and just not worry about this kid's composure. That's literally, he's just, Cole Palmer, like we said. Sterling and Jackson beautifully linking up for the goal. Much more impressed with Nico Jackson generally. Great assist. He was frustrated with both Enzo, who took the ball off him when he wanted to take a shot, rightly as well. He was sort of frustrated with Nkunku at one point as well for doing the wrong thing. So even though he wasn't perfect, he always makes mistakes, Jackson, but that's kind of okay. In the same way we were with Timo Werner and Liverpool, Darwin Núñez, when they keep trying, they keep applying, and they really care, and they do add a literal footballing value, which Jackson does. You sort of forgive them, and I think he played well. And of course, he's one more yellow card in the next 7 games now. He gets a 2-game ban, but this was a very intense game when you're playing against, he didn't come off until the 82nd minute, and he didn't get a yellow. This game had Nico Jackson yellow written all over it. Like trying to defend the lead or defend the draw against this really hostile atmosphere and just relentless attacking team, and you're having to defend as a striker or a forward. I just thought had a yellow card written all over him. So I'm very, very pleased with Nico Jackson's performance. I think it was great. And Sterling, of course, got the goal. I do wonder if he should have stayed on a little bit longer than the 64th minute. But of course, when you see Nkunku come on, you think, great, play down that sort of left channel, can swap with Nico. It makes sense. I kind of signed off. And again, so the first sub, the second sub, Trevoh Chalobah for Cole Palmer. Yeah, I totally endorse in the 71st minute, so 19 minutes to go, winning, going to a back 5 like we've done this season under Pochettino. It makes sense, go to a back 5. We've seen it with Gilchrist. In hindsight of course is 2020. You bring on Gilchrist instead of Trevoh Chalobah, but Trevoh Chalobah has the height. Maybe, of course, Pochettino sees Gilchrist more as a right-sided player. He's played him at right back. You don't take Gusto off when he's playing like that. So maybe he thinks, okay, so just play Trevoh in the middle. So I kind of understand the decision, but of course it didn't pay off with what I deem, not a mistake for the goal, but perhaps a little bit coming in cold, lazy defending. Or at least, not lazy defending, that sounds harsh, but I don't know, just not ready for this kind of game. Not even ready for a game, apparently. And then Cesare Cassidy, again, a tall midfielder that likes winning aerial duels for a striker when you are winning with 10 minutes to go. I get it. You have to look for why the decisions are made at the time, and they kind of make sense. But of course, we concede a long shot to Rodri that hits the aforementioned Trevo's knee, deflects in, and nearly happens again later. But ultimately, it's a great performance. It's a great result and a really important performance. It's a great result because it's a point away at the champions, the treble holders. That in isolation has to be a good result for anyone, for Liverpool, for Arsenal, and for Chelsea, of course. And especially because we've lost there constantly for the last few years. And it's just shown we can play like a team that cares with togetherness, because our next game is a final against Liverpool. We're going to obviously do previews and stuff for that. They've got injury problems, but Salah's back, got a goal and an assist. Poor one out for my FPL season because I triple captained Jota because they've got a double game week and he was stretched off. So yeah, if any of you have done that, comment down below. And yes, we move. I'm very happy actually. Despite being a bit disappointed, I'm very, very happy. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing if you want to. And hope to see you back here soon, friends. Peace.